And hello, everyone. I'm Dan Lutz, and I'm here with our guest co-host.
Michelle, how are you?
Good. And we're here on the front lines in the battle against the deep state, the cabal, the Illuminadonkeys, and all those that wish to enslave all of humanity for their own selfish reasons in their last and final days. How's it going, Michelle?
It's going well. Well, just been busy. A lot of things going on in our world. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yep, a lot of things going on in the world. Uh, I was just uh, I was capturing some different news to bring forward here. Some of it, I'm not exactly certain about, and some others I'm still not certain about. But I would say that David Wilcock is just now
Mm-hmm.
doing a live stream. I stopped my watching of him to watch this. So maybe it just finished or something. But this is probably the one broadcast he's been waiting to do for a decade. The disclosure or the announcement. And to sum it up, he said that the there will be 3 days where the internet is shut off and the phones will be shut off. And you can make emergency calls, but you're not going to be able to get any information. And then this time they will be doing the mass arrest portions of the entrenched that they need to extract from around the world. And it's a worldwide campaign. So that's very very interesting. He gave a date of any time within the next 2 weeks of this 3 days will happen. So that's very interesting. Kind of lining up with what was coming from QAnon. So we don't know what is happening there, but it is possible that.
Do people really believe that you need to lose your abilities, like they need to literally shut off your internet and your phones?
The
Did you
reason
say?
for that is actually to remove the internet that we currently have that is basically has these roadblocks that were put in there by the cabal. So while
Mm-hmm.
this is the time it takes for them to convert it.
Mm-mm. What happens if people sell out and do things like that, though? Like
Well,
for people not to have their phone service or anything.
well, I think
There, there's no, there, there's no reason.
I
There
well,
really
I
isn't
well,
a
I
reason.
actually I
So,
disagree with that on a technical basis. I think that there is a reason
well,
for their certain.
I hope that I hope at the end of this
Yeah.
that I get to call you and say that we survived and there was a reason that we were able to stand our ground.
Yeah. Well, I'm.
But the people really need to. You never have ever gained freedom ever in history by giving up freedom. I think that people need to be prepared in the very, very, very near future. Um, Even could be a couple hours possibly. I believe that you need to be very prepared to lose your internet and your phone. And it should be about what it should have always been about, that the people take care of the people. You never depend on anyone in your government to protect you.
Well, I'm in
And
agreement with
so,
that. The government has been so corrupted, and so you can't rely on the government for anything ever, at any time. It should be kept to the smallest portion, and now we have a humongous government. So I do pray for the best, and that this period to go right is over quickly. I was thinking it was going to be off for a week, and now it's 3 days. Well, okay, whichever way is going
I,
though.
whichever way it's going to go, you know, I got information from Navy, military, Marines, Navy, people in communications, very high up. And I would just say that um, things are not as they seem. And I have never been a fear Mongol or anything. I have very good friends in the military intel, and we have reached out to them. And I think that people need to be ready. And I think that people need to understand that there is some deception, and that sometimes people get afraid. And sometimes people do things that we don't understand why. We don't know if they've been threatened or they're afraid they're going to lose something in their life. We don't know why. I've always said from the very beginning, there was no reason. I've grown up in the defense industry, Dan, my whole life. And when I saw those things in tanks in the United States, I knew what they were. I knew what they meant. And I know these numbers, and I know what the numbers mean. I had even reached out in the last few days to people that have access to things in government contracting, and asked for numbers, and was even concerned with those things that we were seeing. There was a paper that's very important, Operation Northwoods, that wasn't available when it was going on, right? Like with Cuba and all that, the deception of the people. I said something to someone today. I hope that in 40, 50 years that there's not something written about us in the same thing, that we believe something, and it's a totally different thing. And how easy the house of cards can fall.
It's
how beautiful America. Go ahead.
I just say there is, conspiracies upon plans, upon designs, upon, and they're so interwoven. You don't know which one is taking place, which one is moving forward. In the end, we can just do what we know is the right thing at that time. And
when they end, it comes to your moral compass.
Right.
Even if you're in the military, I don't care what the order is. In the state of Arkansas, the Air Force was told that if the command came down, that they would shoot their own civilians. In my state, in the Air Force, you should never take that order. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Your oath is to the Constitution. And the reason that our military has stood up and they took these grounds and their jobs is to protect the people. Think about your family and your children.
Right.
If you're in the military and if you're willing to drive a tank anywhere, and in the United States, Greece, Italy, I don't care where it is. They're everywhere, because I've been seeing pictures. I got pictures from Greece today. We've seen all of it. But my guys that I've dealt with in the United States, that I've had very close relationships with and stuff, if you get that command, is that what you want in the history books? That you were a part of that? That you're honestly gonna take these commands and do this to the American people, do this to the people around the world. I don't give a damn what your order is. I don't care who it comes from, at all. I don't care if it comes from your commander-in-chief. I don't care who it comes from your president. Your moral compass is to the people. It is to the people.
The oath is to the Constitution.
Whoever is listening to this, the oath is to the people. Your job is to protect the people. Your job is not to take those commands. And so I hope that maybe some of them will have a change of heart and might look at things a little differently. The mass arrests could happen, and there could be some deception going on
Could be. You know,
And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of us, you and Tank have been doing this for a year, and I've been in this battle for like 4 years, fighting for the people. And I don't know right now, Dan, if I could cry or just really be so pissed off that there are people in power that had no balls and have no integrity. And I think that for anyone at any Air Force base, any military base, they would say if the command comes in that you would shoot at civilians, has no business being here at all.
Right.
And that's not what it's built on.
The people are not the enemy.
You'll never settle for people. We're not the enemy. And if you think we're the enemy, you're working for the wrong side. Because we, like Dan, I just want to go back home to my children and my family and live in a peaceful world and love people and stuff. We're not the enemy. The majority of us are not the enemy. And we shouldn't be forced to do things. We shouldn't be forced to take vax or comply or suffer and live in a police state. That's not what this world it was created for, created to be. I don't really hardly go spiritual on these calls because of respect to audience and everything. But my faith, for me personally, Dan, is what gets me through what I've been going through. And I've always said that that's who's really in control. And Source, God, whatever you want to call it, is in control. It's up to us, though, to stand our ground and continue standing for the right thing. And so I would hope and encourage every one of you to be prepared, support each other. As we always say, love is the answer. And if you're in the military and you got different orders, I would hope that you would know that the people are not the enemy and that you would protect the people the correct way.
Yes, this is what should happen, and I think that we know in our hearts and in our guts what we're supposed to be doing, right? And if you find yourself, faced with these kind of orders, right, that why would you do it? Right? It's obviously wrong. So hopefully, I have a lot of faith in the men and women in the military, and that they will do the right thing.
And I have some really good people in the military that I have high respect and high regard. I've seen them go fight in other countries for the people, protect. I've seen some amazing hearts. And I hope that's what comes to the table right now. That's what we need right now.
Yeah, I agree. Well, David Wilcox was going on about a lot of different elements of this. He went into the aspect of where the virus came from, how it's being used, and it's all basically it's the death rate is so small. It's like 0.07%. Not it's almost really negligible. That's why we're only seeing that it's affecting people in their 80s. And if you're in your 80s and you get sick, it is very possible you can die. And so the numbers that we're really looking at is normal death rates across the board. So, but this is used to scare people, right? And we shouldn't be frightened of this and follow what's going on. So, if there's one time when
The coronavirus. I mean, we know that it was always a bioweapon to be used. That was always a bioweapon.
with a fear porn partner, they had to have the media go along with it.
The fear porn was the coronavirus was never my concern. Like, we actually have more deaths by medical things going wrong in our hospitals by surgeons than we have the coronavirus a year. And we don't shut hospitals down and hold them accountable or anything. And that has never been my concern. I saw a lot of things on both sides, and when you see those things, you look at it like, be this way, could be that way. What I did see, and I said this on your show, I thought this was very concerning. How many people went into their homes so easily across the world and really didn't ask questions about, show me the numbers. Like, if this is the story, then show it to me. And
but they are, right? They are showing it to them.
We didn't question it. I did.
Well, no, I think they did. I think that that's the mainstream media is really just presenting. Here's the information, and people are just shaking their head and say, okay, they'll go along with that, right? But now
But the information should have never been scaring anyone to the point to close your companies and
agree.
Restaurants. The coronavirus. There's been more that died from the flu. The vaccines, like those are if we really want to talk about things like child trafficking, those things never sent people home. They did have the news. They did show things, but it's not enough to send people home across the world, and the level that they did, shut the companies down the way they did. I believe that people should have really truthfully been told the truth, that things are a little shaky right now. It's not a virus, and it can go either way. That's where I'm just more about transparency. I believe that our government needs to be restored back to transparency. And like again, when then have we ever really seen all the countries, everybody agree on the same thing to send these people in their homes and lock them down and put curfews? And like, why were people not questioning? You got the coronavirus in Texas. You hired 2,500 additional state police through federal funding to watch the interstates for corona and to make sure that you had the proper papers. That's not coronavirus. And I saw the paperwork, and that's where the people need to wake up and go, wait a minute, what's going on? And it does not take 2,500 additional state police in Texas to do these arrests. And it does not take for the nurses and all these people that have gotten paperwork where they're going to literally put where certain people can travel. That's, again, not freedom. If you give up your freedom or you have to have a certain position to travel, that's not a system that's free. Your rights are to be completely violated. And we've done everything we could to educate. Go ahead, Dan.
I heard, from the briefing, the coronavirus briefing from Trump today, that they're going to extend this to the end of April, right? Because of the potential of 2 million deaths. That's basically the reasoning behind it. Now, I don't actually think that we're going to extend that long. I don't think that we'll be shut down past Easter, really. But I think that Trump tends to, go along with their plans, right? Just like he had Bolton along for a while, or any of the other people that he had in there for temporary, and then he basically flipped on them and turned everything back around and put everything back on mission. So I think that this is just one of those things that is being said. I don't think it's actually going to be carried out that long. But since
on
you
that
know, since
on the 2 weeks.
but to the end of
I,
April, I do think we're going to be there until Easter, until that Sunday, or the Friday before it will end, and then here's another interesting that David Wilcox had said. It was kind of interesting. During these 3 days, the only thing that you're going to be able to watch, right, is going to be an 8-hour movie that they have that's ready to explain the whole story about what's going on. So I thought that's about everything, from the pedophilia to the human trafficking to the sacrifice, ritual sacrifices, the power structure, the battle, and it's going to explain everything. And you've got to watch the whole 8 hours to know what it is. So it's an 8-hour movie that they're going to play 3 times. Now that was an interesting piece of information. So anyway, I'm definitely go back, and I encourage everyone to go watch David Wilcox. It's actually, what is that? I'll share my screen and show.
I encourage you to get your water, your food, and
that too. It's a David Wilcox. That's just his channel, official David Wilcox Divine Cosmos official. That's his channel. I can share the screen anyway. There's a couple of he's using slides, so it makes it easier to show. I'll share that with you, and then I'll share it with everyone. There we go. Well, yeah. This is where I kind of stopped watching it somewhere in here. So it's just saying. 30,000 U.S. troops will spread throughout European region are in fact exempt from the preventative COVID-19 regulations that apply to civilians. So that was interesting. Let's see if I have anything. This is. It's also talking about JFK. The battle. It's basically against the Illuminati, the same like JFK was against why he was killed, and how they try to go change the money system. So we're going to change the money system. And that's what he's talking about. But anyway, that's the name. David Wilcox on the Great Pandemic 3 that streamed 5 hours ago. It's still on, it looks like. So I have a couple other things that I was going to show as well that would be kind of, I guess, interesting to show. This is something that came in basically about, where did it go? Here it is. So Tom Hanks. So Tom Hanks is I found this from IMDb. His full name, Thomas Jeffrey Hanks. Is reported on this site, CaliforniaArrests.org, which I have no idea if this is true or not, but Tom Jeffrey Hanks, 63, Beverly Hills, California, and relatives Rita Wilson Hanks. So again, no idea if this is true or not. These sites, they want you now to pay to get more information. As soon as they ask you to pay, then I go, well, now I don't trust what I'm seeing. But it was just interesting. There's some people that started talking about that. My daughter told me about it, so that's why I looked into it. And I was just looking also about his wife also. But I found also there was an article. I can't find it right now. Oh yeah, that's right, because it disappeared. I got a screenshot of it. showed that here. Switch back to Zoom. And moving some things around. Oh yeah, there it is. So this was the article. It was on BuzzFeed. This is that she died of coronavirus, Tom Hanks' wife. Now that article disappeared. But so I don't know what's true or not in this case. This could be, fake news. But it is interesting that these things do come up. So whether Tom Hanks himself is arrested or not, I don't know. This was just curious to me whether or not this was something that was true. But I wasn't going to spend money to go and do it. go and check it out. Yeah, see, new techniques here on the front lines on showing information, progress. So, did Tank give you any information as an update from Kim?
I think Tank is working on some things right now, and he's addressing some things, and then some other things are taken care of, and so we'll just have to wait.
Okay.
Until it can be announced.
That's fine. I just want to know if there was any news. That's something we usually cover in the very first minutes if we don't forget and slide right into something as we did today, which was fine. Well, we've got a lot happening in the world, so. But I'm looking at it as a time where everything is changing over for the good. I in no way see that the evil plans are going to be successful. Whatever the moves and counter moves that have been in place, and people on one side or other, people think they're on one side, but they're actually doing the bad things. People that are on the bad things may be doing the good things. That it's all back and forth. Plan upon plan, and all designed, to keep people confused. So, how long can we wait for a virus that's not killing anyone to stay out of the way? I don't think that anyone should wait past Easter. I mean, I actually wandered outside today. Well, I did today, but I did a big wander yesterday, and there's absolutely nobody out there. Comparatively, there'll be one car that's going by every 5 minutes, and where before there's just cars going by, right? So it's and I'm right near a national highway, but we did end up stocking up. My wife was ingenious on her ability to bypass the limits that they had on things, and she got more than they were allowing. But we got enough for 2 weeks, so we're okay for food for that much time. I'm more concerned about water because I rely on the rain, and it's already midsummer. And there has been no rainstorms for 3 weeks. So my supply is down.
You need to do an Indian. You gotta get out there and do an Indian rain dance.
Yeah, I usually sing the chant. It goes, "Rain, rain, come today, fill my barrels all the way."
That's how you do it.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, I still do that.
I expect it to get dark now. Yeah. We still step on each other on these calls. For some reason, we always have a delay.
We do at times. I hate it. We do get a delay at times, but yeah, maybe I'll be praying that you get some rain and buckets are full of water and.
Yeah. I've got a swimming pool that I've only used for water storage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, I just direct the gutters from the house to the pool.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
No,
yeah.
We don't drink the water. We don't drink that water. It's we just use it for toilets, laundry, that kind of thing. But it's filtered 7 times. And usually, it's just rainwater as well. It's just removing particles, and it's clean. Other than when the volcano was going off, then there was a bit of a problem for a while. I still have a layer of ash at the bottom of the pool, because it took a while, but it all drifted to the bottom. So. But we're prepared. My daughter, she's still been working at her business, which is health or medical associated. She does ultrasounds, the 3D ultrasounds for mothers to be, and so her business has remained open during this time, and she's still doing it. And she finally did get stocked up on food. So hopefully everyone is good and able to survive for a few weeks, and then no matter what, we should probably say no, it's done now. we're going back to work.
Yeah. Well, I always believe the people always have the power. And that's all you gotta do. Front line, right?
Yeah. Well, we're on the front line. Yeah. So all the people have been on the front lines. A lot of people just didn't know it. Too busy trying.
Been on the front lines.
Yeah.
I called someone tonight, and we've been on the front lines for a while. I was actually talking to Tank last night, talking about being exhausted, just being tired, but we had to keep going, and just how much you miss, the hugs. I spoke to one of my friends yesterday and about things they were seeing, and in the military world and stuff, and I said to hear his voice really brought a moment with me of what I was missing, just not having to be around him, and what the sacrifice has been. I don't regret the sacrifices, because we had to do this. We've all had to be on the front line to wake up more people, to get them to understand what was going on, and it has been an education. There are so many of us who have worked so hard to keep peace and restore the power back to the people. And so many people have fought on behalf of humanity. I do not regret at all being on the front line. A couple of years ago, Dan, an agent, I was getting some intel, and he said to me, if I hand you these pieces of paper and you could walk into a building, they would end all of this. It was like the child trafficking stuff is what we were working on. And he said, if you could end all of this, so when mom and you walk out, they kill you. What would you do? That was when he was trying to basically tell me, if you're in your end, you have to realize that once you get to this point of getting this information and trying to stop it, when you're doing something with it, you have to realize your life is on the line. And I said, hand me I said his name, I would say, hand me the damn paperwork and take care of my kids.
Yeah.
And so that's been my my stand on this entire time, that if it would be so easy that someone could just hand me the paperwork to walk in a building to end all wars and all hate and all betrayal, and if I walked out and they killed me, if it ends it would be worth it. That's what it's about being on the front line. That's what humanity is about. And so many of us have been on the front line, and we have fought very, very hard. We're going to continue fighting very, very hard for the people. The people we restore. We never know what is promised to you. None of us have tomorrow promised, and I have said that for a long, long time, because I've experienced a lot of death in my life, and that I've always tried to remember that we are not promised tomorrow. So live your day like to the fullest, but do everything you can to change the world. For 4 years, Dan, I said something the other day. I witnessed things in the sky that I thought I would never witness in my lifetime. And if I said it to the most normal person, they would say, you're crazy. There are multiple witnesses what we witnessed. And I said, if you had told me 5 years ago that I would see this going on in my world, I would know the level of betrayal of humanity, the way the government system was really set up, like how, like we didn't even know about him and all these things. You just think the government is this. You don't know about all these other, like 5 years ago, I didn't know none of that existed. All I knew that was something has never felt right. Like, to me, it's always been like something's gonna lie. Like, why is it? And I started seeking the truth, and then I wanted to do whatever I could. And so we've been on the front line. 5 years ago, I would have never, ever, in my wildest dreams, would have believed that I would have learned and have seen the bad, at the level that I've seen it, and the good and the mercy and the love of so many people who have stepped in and have taken care of people and put out a helping hand. So I've seen the good and the bad. I do not regret at all being on the front line. I pray for the day that I get to return to see my children, my family, and my friends. And I hope that we can sit down and they get to see all the journals and really see how hard I've worked for the people and on behalf of the people of humanity. And I have always done this because I was laying in my bed, and I really felt like that's what God laid on my heart to do. And I took the challenge on, and I'm going to continue to doing that. And so being on the front line is not always easy. As you well know, we get attacked. I have had the wonderful government agencies, and you know who you are, in my state, as well as out of Illinois, Massachusetts, and New York, who you have sent your people to kill me. The CIA, as well as other people in the Arkansas government. I'm very aware of who you are and that you have not had the power to stop me. I believe when you're on the front line and you are doing the good for the people and for humanity, that you have protection that comes from places that nobody knows about, and it's always done.
Okay. So I guess you're at a visit.
No, much better. Yeah. But you know, I had to make a phone call to someone earlier, and I had to do this actually yesterday as well. That if anything ever happened to me, that I would hope they would explain to my children and my family why I did it, and why it needed to be done.
Yeah, well, it's being on the front line. You gotta, when you're on the front line, you're gonna have to put everything else aside, and you're doing it for, to get over this really tremendous evil in the world that's going to be affecting everyone that you love. So by taking time away, I'd love to have been back in the United States and been close to my grandchild, or not my grandchildren, growing up. I haven't even seen my granddaughter, but I took this path. I had to jump timelines to get here. So the path is something that just has to be done. You got to take those steps. You got to make the world better by the things that you do, and that's what we've been doing. With a focus on being, a positive outcome for all of humanity. There's going to be
the best that you can.
Sure.
The best that you can.
Yeah.
Humanity is always up to the people, and the power is within the people. We were deceived to think that the power is within a certain government, possibly trying to protect you, whatever. And so, we don't know. But no matter what happens, always about humanity, like we all take care of each other. That's what's the beauty of it. And, there's many of us who have, we've all made sacrifices. You've not seen your family. I haven't seen my family. So many sacrifices, but every bit of it was worth it for the changes and the going to continue to fight. Darkness is not allowed here. I don't care who it comes from. The light is so much stronger, and so I really don't care who you are. Darkness is just not allowed. It won't be allowed, and so we just have to keep doing it. We have to keep being on that mission, and no matter what, I hope that one day, when people watch this video, more than ever, they will understand the sacrifices so many us and mothers, fathers, so many people. I hope that they these videos and they really start to understand what's going on and what we were fighting for and why it was worth it, and that no matter what the challenges are ahead of us, and that the light will always win. Always, always. So
Though,
don't be afraid.
you know, I'm in 100% belief that we are in that transition. It doesn't matter the details of how people think that there's their plan of their evil agenda, whether it's through the virus or the vaccine, or you know 5G, or just media telling stories. Doesn't matter, right? All of their efforts will come to naught. There's nothing behind them. It's empty. So we've already transitioned, right? And we're already in the light. we're we're so far in the light. They're the ones that are freaking out. So we're in a position for the first time, I think, where we're able to go ahead and really say blossom, expand from where we are. Don't have to do things that you may have compromised, in the past because you needed to, you thought that's the only way you could survive. It, you know, those people that are out there that have gone down the road to the dark side because they thought it was easier, found that it wasn't easier, at least not on their soul, not on who they are. They gave all that up, and now
That's a very good statement, Dan, that you just said. People that went down the road that went to the dark side gave up their soul.
and even Darth Vader in the very end flipped. He came. He basically just there's no time that they can't flip. Roger Bernard, was it that banker, Dutch banker that came out? Said this is what's been going on. The 8,000 people that rule the world are all from the banker. The BIS is the center of the power, and he flipped, right? And he's and you hear him. You can have sympathy for where he's been in his life, right, and what he's gone through, and he's flipped, and he'll be trying to make good with what he has left in his life, for the rest of his life because of so much evil he had done. But at least he stopped at killing kids. But prior to that, things that he did for financial gain in some country somewhere, people ended up dying. Maybe he didn't pull a trigger or push someone off a cliff, but the things that he did ended up with people dying. So those people are out there that are jumping ship. They're leaving. And we're going to have to fill that void, that power vacuum. That means we have to stand up. And if you didn't want to get into the politics at some time, you're going to have to stand up and take a position. Do it locally. Do it on your school board. Join the PTA. Stand up and say, no, that's not right. No, can't put poison in the children because some doctors in the World Health Organization says it's okay. No, you got to stand up and take a position and to stop listening to what they're just saying. Look at what the facts are. Dig down, do the work.
And I think you're right. When pressure's put on, and a lot of people do jump ship, and you don't know why. Sometimes, like we do, and when that happens, we, the people, we fill in the void. Like we step in, and we continue to do the right thing. So, when people do that, then you know what? That means that we just up our game, and we know that we are warriors and soldiers, and that we all are here and we came here for the right reasons. Everything that we've done has been for humanity. And so when we see people jump ship, we just come back 1,000 times stronger to overpower the person that jumped ship, and the people just keep standing their ground. So those are really wise words, Dan, that you just gotta fill the void.
We do, and because it's the nature of things. And so when there's a vacuum in space, something has to fill it. It has to be us. We can't not just sit back and let those same people crawl back out from the shadows and say, "Oh yeah, I'll volunteer to be your leader." We got to do it ourselves.
Now,
We got to take position.
More important than ever. There has never been a more important time. I always said, like we say, lawful America is you. I never said lawful America is your state legislator, your governor, your president. And lawful America is you. And that's what it is about. Like, it's that you know your rights and that you're a creator, and that you have the power, like, to stand up. And I believe that we have many groups, not just ours, but so many people and so many groups have been educating the people that, and have done a really great job waking up the people. My advice would be, remember, why did you wake up? It wasn't to follow leaders or a certain thing. We all woke up because we saw, like you said, children being poisoned by vaccines, doing it because the doctor says it, from who, or child trafficking, or literally people being sacrificed. Whatever it was, they woke you up. But remember that it was about a moral reason. That is down why we woke up. We woke up because the moral reason, the moral issues, and we just knew those things weren't right. That wasn't following certain leaders or certain things. You woke up, you started researching, and you came to the table because you saw the crimes against humanity. We have to remember that. Why did you wake up? Why did you take this stand and continue to take those stands? And that's what I hope that everybody stays very mindful. That have courage, and remember why you came to the table. I came to the table because I just could not even think about how could veterans and military be treated the way they were, and then the child trafficking. And the more I saw, there was just no way that I could sit there and allow my children to live in a world like this and not do nothing.
Yeah.
As other people, and that wasn't following anyone. Like, it's just doing the right thing. We're at a very, very important time that no matter what happens, no matter what changes, what goes on, that we still keep the moral reasons for the good, and we keep fighting for that. We just have to up our game a little more to make sure that those things happen.
And what we can do right now is participate in making videos. You can do your own YouTube channel, talk about this. You can share these videos. You can give likes and positive comments. You can find other people to inform them and teach them of what's going on. And right now, all we have while we have internet at our disposal, take advantage, use it. As the next moment, you're going to be playing Jim Rummy and board games, which is all going to be fun anyway. You might not want to play Monopoly. That's old and done.
you know, it's always about the diversity. It's always about being strong and be strong and courageous. And so you're right. Like share, like educate, be prepared, do your part. I think what's so much more important is that love is really what makes the difference, and not war. And so I know for me, um, I will be the example that I have been this entire time until I take my very last breath on this run. And I hope that other people that have integrity will continue to do the same. And the ones that are sold out and are a part of the darkness, and you think that you have the power in your hands to control what you think you have. I would just say, may God have mercy on your soul at this point, because that is not the plan. It doesn't matter who you are. The plan is love and life to restore back. And it's not in one person's hands. It's not in 20 cabal hands, whoever the hell you think you are. It's not in your hands.
No, it's in our hands. That's why, taking small steps, actually, everyone making small steps ends up a big wave. And that's what we're experiencing. We've been taking small steps. And the steps will get bigger and bigger as confidence builds. And we just keep going, no matter what.
We just keep going. Like, be the light, love, and remember what your energy is and how important that is out in the world. That's science, So, we just keep doing those things. We just keep pushing out light, like you said, your neighbors, and do these things, and that's what we have to continue to be. I do not believe it's been by any accident that so many of us have come together. You're in the Philippines. I'm in the United States. And I have met people in Ireland, all over the world, who I've been so blessed to get to meet and do this. And so I think that we're a whole lot more blessed, and we have a lot more support than we probably realize. Like, there's a reason why all of us come together. I say this. I keep telling you, better not forget our anniversary. I met you in Tank on April the 23rd of last year, and so he's in New York, you're in the Philippines, and there was a reason why we met. And I think that's across the world. There's a reason why so many of us that have been warriors on the front line, we've all came together. We're going to continue to be together, continue to fight for humanity, for the people, for the light. And never retreat. Never. No matter what's going on, never retreat. That's when they'll get you.
Yep. Yeah, and we're not. We're full steam ahead. So let's call this a show for today, and we'll come back tomorrow and see if we get any new updates. Hopefully we have the internet to work from. and we'll take it another day. But we're doing well. Just everyone keep positive.
No matter what, if communications are lost, everybody. You have everything in you, within you that you need. Everything. And so just remember that. If there is something that you can't communicate with people or things don't look just right, you are built. Everything you ever need, and all your courage, everything you need is always inside you. So don't be afraid. Be strong. As always, I say, stand your ground. And I've always said thank you for the platform. And no matter what, so if the internet goes out or strange things happen, just know for everybody that much love to all of them. Much love.
Back at you, and we'll see everyone tomorrow. Peace out from the Philippines.
And God bless. Walk her out.